Welcome back, everybody, to the last episode of Mike and Matt's X Files CCG.
What?
We wanted to be the first to tell you, listen, Matt, when we started this show, what did we set out to do?
We were going to interview Kresge, David Lewis.
Right? What else did we want to do?
We're going to get 100 subscribers.
And last but certainly not least,
find David May.
Yeah. We've done all those things. There's nothing left for us to do.
You're right.
We can't keep this charade up forever.
Yeah, what are we going to show?
All right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Who's at the door, man?
I don't know. I'm not expecting anyone. Yeah. So I have to sign for something.
What?
I don't know. Hold on.
What is it?
I don't know.
Who's it from?
Let me see here. Brian Woodward.
Brian's already sent us a lot.
He really has. I don't know. Let's see if I can. I don't know what he would send us.
I want
to.
Dude.
Mike and Matt bringing back the mid to late 90s. Mike and Matt bringing back X Files CCG.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a special interview for you today. We have Brian Woodward, an original playtester for X Files Collectible Card Game, was also a contractor with USPC, and we're excited to ask him some questions and just find out more.
Definitely. Stay tuned.
So, how are you doing, Brian?
Oh, not bad. How about you guys? It sounds like one of you got a cold. So.
Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but cold medicine. Oh man, when you don't have any beer in your system and you take cold medicine, you feel kind of the same way, and it's a little strange. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I'm a little loopy right now, but
Yeah, the beer helps, though, right?
Supposedly, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get involved with the X Files card game?
Okay, well, we'll start in the really early, very beginning with we talk about Dave May a lot. Dave May and I were buddies in high school, so we've known each other for years, and we were both initially play testers. So he continued to do what he did after high school, getting into gaming and stuff like that. And I did a stint in the military. I was in the Air Force for 8 years. So I was in during the storm and all that stuff back in the day. And then when I came back and moved back to the area that he was in, we looked at Don Russ. They had an ad saying they want play testers for stuff, and we were really playing the heck out of their next games, sports games. They had Red Zone and Top of the Order, and we got on. They got on the phone with us, and they said, "Well, we've got this new license. Want to see if you'd be interested in play testing it in X Files?" And I just about went through the roof because I was a huge X Files fan. I mean, I had been watching it since the pilot episode. I just was a huge fan of the show, and to be able to play test, those games. Actually, this is what they look like. Some of the stuff that they sent us. I think you may have seen these before, but let's see.
Oh, nice.
This is what they sent us, and then you can see that like little notes on there. So we said, we want it. I think it should cost this much, or are you sure you really want to do this card? That kind of thing. Like in that particular set, there was they had agents that could turn into an adversary, and then they when they're discarded at the end of the turn. So if you use the adversary, you lose the agent for the rest of the game.
Oh wow.
So
That's
anyway,
It's
his effect. I thought Patterson had the effect where you could attack an agent on the other team.
and it was a Patterson card originally. Let's see.
Yeah, because I remember having him in my deck trying to do that, but I just couldn't make a deck that I felt was strong enough.
Let's see. It says in this one, he can, if you negate him, he just goes back and can control his field. But if he's reduced to 0 health, he's removed from the game.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
That's a big deal, losing one of your core agents.
yeah.
Yeah. That was the Patterson card originally.
So Brian, were there a lot of cards doing playtesting that got phased out because they just didn't work, or was it usually just modifying the little changes on them?
Half and half, really. There was a lot of cards. There was a lot of playtest cards, and there was constantly updates. We would get bricks. Hold on quick. So we get a brick,
Oh wow!
like this, of playtest cards, and then it would have all whatever on there. And like I said, we would write stuff on there, and this is the early days of the net and stuff. So we were mainly just mailing stuff back and forth, or making phone calls and faxes and that kind of thing. Not really using the web like we do today. But we just constantly had those. And then it came to a point where, they asked if, I thought they asked us, but if we would work as play testers at the convention. But I guess we had to pay our way there, but they paid for a hotel and everything. So I was the 96 GenCon. They flew us all out, and we got to meet Next Game guys and USPC guys and stuff like that. And Dave has always been the networking dude. So he met the other Dave and latched on to him and figured out, this might be my way into the industry. Whereas I was just happy to be there and and trying to figure out what was going on. Got to meet the two actors, Braidwood and
Dean Haglund.
Haglund. They were there to make the signed cards and stuff like that, and we were giving out the NOSPs and that kind of thing. And I used to have a stack like this tall of NOSPs, and there was a flood in my house and destroyed a lot of stuff. And that was one of the things. Yeah, just became one soggy brick of cards. So that's where a lot of those went, or a lot of the ones that I had anyway. And we drove everybody nuts at the con because I brought my X Files soundtrack, and they put the theme song on repeat, and it played the entire time from when the convention floor opened until it closed. It was just over and over and over again. So even the guys at that our other friends that were play testers that worked the convention, everybody was going a little bit insane by that point. Alexa, quiet. Stop. I told her to remind me of this interview. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess we're a little early.
Nice.
That's her. Yeah, no, I just jumped on as soon as I saw the link. So, anyway, so I had, it was funny. I had the theme song on my answering machine. You remember those answering machines?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had one of those.
Yeah, I had one of those.
So my buddies hated calling because when I played a thing, and one of our friends, Pat, I just remember him saying, I'm never calling you because I'm not going to listen to that. Again, so that was pretty funny. And then I actually had like the first time Mulder and Scully met. I had that as like a sound bite on the answering machine. And anyway, so we did the convention. We played the heck out of X Files. I mean, we knew it inside and out because of playtest cards. And you guys asked, about people playing multiplayer and stuff like that. If they did more than 2, 3 or more players. And I think that we tried it, with the playtest cards, back then. But it wasn't something that we were thinking that was going to ever be really a thing, right? It's all the CCGs back at the time were all 2-player, right? So, there wasn't very many games that branched out more than that. So we just thought that was pretty much it. So anyway, Dave got the nod from Mr. Frank and went out to Cincinnati from California and joined the USPC team. And it wasn't really that far much longer after that he invited me to come out. And I stayed, lived with him and his wife for a little bit in Cincinnati area. While I was, looking for regular work. I did, some of the contracting stuff, like you said, with USPC. I was going in there for free just because I was a fan. And then I ended up, they're like, you can't keep coming in here and doing actual work and us not paying you. And they were just trying to get me not to be there at all, but they actually got persuaded that they could use the help. So I did the snail mail answering, and I ended up doing the emails, a lot of the emails, and their website and the forums. On the forums, I went by the moniker "The Unknown Factor" for anybody that actually was on the forums 25 years ago, whatever it was, if they remember any of that. And then when they ended up losing the license, they asked me to write the rules for a simpler version of the game, something that young kids could play, basically. And so made the whole keyword thing and everything a lot simpler. I think I posted somewhere. I posted a couple of the copies of these type of cards that were
Yeah, we saw some of them on the Facebook group.
Yeah, I think on the Facebook group, and I had the rules all written up and worked with the graphics department and had that all set up and everything. That was, a last gasp for them to try to get the license back, and obviously so that didn't happen.
Well, I've got a question for you, and I use the word in this question as gracefully, but I don't think there's a better word there's got to be a better word to use, and I'm flustered, and I'm also sick, but you, I guess, graciously have provided us with a couple of amazing things, and getting to know you, and actually sitting down for breakfast in your hometown or where you live now, and
Right.
you were nice enough to send us not only an original GenCon deck, but one of the very few pewters that exists, which we now have in this little hermetically sealed box with LEDs. And the question that I have in regards to this, because my mind is just so blown, is why us? Why, out of all these things, out of all these people that could have existed, why did you choose to work with us on allowing us to share this with everybody?
I don't know. I think as the term I keep using is that you're keeping up the flame. It's when you guys first started on there. I mean, it was Dave that had found your YouTube site, and sent me the link and said, "Take a look at this." And you had that Dean Haglin interview, and I was just blown away because I mean, I was still an X Files fan. I mean, I still watch it all the time. I watch reruns of it. And the fact that you guys went out and were able to get interviews like that and reach out to different people that were part of the whole X Files community, with Mike Mackey, stuff like that. Then someone else who's tried to keep the cards, everything so that I wasn't, a penny a deck in some, 99-cent store or whatever, right? Something like that. And I liked your stuff as it grew, the background, all the stuff in the background. And I was like, what's the perfect place to show it off? Because all I'm doing in my play is collecting dust. No one sees it. No one knows what it looks like. No one knows if it really even existed.
Yeah,
and I thought,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
we actually asked Mackie that in our original interview. We said, "Does it exist?" And he said, "I held one in my hand." So we're like, "Holy crap!" And then to actually have one here now is just, we can't thank you enough. It's incredible addition to our collection that we get to thankfully share. And not just the pewter, I mean, just some amazing cards. Like, we now have this professional framed stand for Scully's Dream, which we didn't even think this existed. We knew the pewter existed, but we had never even seen this card. So being able to share all this stuff with everybody is just such an amazing honor. And we just really, we're not worthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you
again.
so much.
I love it that some other people that are fans of X Files and the card game. I mean, you guys are such huge fans. I can't believe that you've been playing it this whole time.
Yeah,
playing it wrong for many years.
Many years playing it wrong. Yes.
Yeah, but just having other people. I'm hoping that your channel continues to grow. I want other people to be able to see that card. I want people to see what the GenCon deck, what this initial printing of these cards look like, so they see that history on there. I want people that have access to that. And if I'm not going to start a YouTube channel, and I'm not, I don't have a place for people to see this stuff, right? At least now, with a lot of this, they get to see it. I mean, I'm not sure what you're going to do with it yet, if you're going to keep it or if you're going to use it as a contest thing, but the script behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I had at one point, and the box might be somewhere. I had the first 3, maybe 4 seasons worth of X Files scripts for every episode. And it was funny because they just photocopied that stuff at Fox and sent them over to us. So it had Gillian Anderson's agent's phone number and stuff like that was written on the front of the script, and it had edits by the actors in there and stuff like that. And then that they just photocopy whatever copy of the script they had hanging around. And somewhere I had all those, but I got lucky enough to meet the actor who played Agent Spender, and he was selling the script with his signature on it. I was like, oh, I gotta have, this is Agent Spender, So it's the episode where he was killed off, and I thought, oh man, well, this would be perfect for these guys to show off, or maybe use as a prize or whatever, I thought that would be really cool. So, and it's been in the background ever since. And then little by little, you've added other stuff in there. And then I also see the more and more, and of course, more today on the Scooby Doo stuff.
Indeed.
That's right.
Has come out. Is that a refractor down there in the front? Is that a...
There's a Scooby Doo. We actually got the Scooby Doo foil.
So
wow.
real quick before we get into that, what I was going to tell you is one of the people that we've been working with on the tournament is a website called ccgtrader.co.uk. We'll put a link below. And what's that?
Is that Dax?
No. It's actually it's a website that is working with us. They made a specialty search bar that we're using for the tournament. So you can literally put in the first word of any card, and it takes you right to that card, big print. And what we did is, with that GenCon deck, we took high res images of every single card and submitted it to them. So that will soon be on their website. So if anybody wanted to go and see exactly what every single Gen card looked like, they can do that now.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, we appreciate that opportunity to even be involved with sharing it with everybody.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. The stuff, like I said, the stuff that I've given to you, or let you borrow to display or whatever, is because I want people to see it. And the fact that you're doing that, I mean, you could do the same thing, I guess, with the pewter card, right? You can for the molder, you can have it on there, right? This is what the pewter molder looks like, and have that up on the site, right? When it comes up, when someone wants to look up a molder card.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's cool. That's very cool.
So Scooby Doo, what was the transition like? You're right. I mean, you went from X Files, and then you went to Scooby Doo. You were also very gracious enough when we met you a few months ago to give us a couple of boxes of the Scooby Doo cards. And like Matt was saying, we found a. It was I guess, are they called foils? Is that what they're called, or?
Foil colors, or I think they had them in the ad. They called them refractors, but
refractors. Yeah, I actually found a Scooby Doo refractor, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
One of the rare ones, I'm told. And then just cracked this one today. What is it? Another malt shop that's also a refractor from the Alien set. So
from the Alien set. Okay.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the game, and how was it inspired, and from the X Files. I mean, we've seen the cards. We know some similarities, obviously, but what's the story on that?
Okay. So when they started the whole German press thing, which was Dave May again, and he was the head of that little that imprint, that company. And you'll see that it should say German press on the packaging. And initially I was like the assistant manager for that, and USPC still owned the rules, the copyright for the rules to X Files, and of course they had my basic set, kind of, that the thing that I wrote. So they had a really good relationship with Warner Brothers, and thought, well, let's do something with one of these properties. Let's do a Scooby Doo property. And they knew that people all over knew who Scooby Doo was. I mean, the name recognition for Scooby Doo is huge, right? I mean, for kids and adults alike. And I worked with a guy at the company, Todd Breitenstein, Breinstein, not sure, who sadly passed away several years ago. Gesundheit. And he and I would be just worked fanatically on this game. And one of the things we were happy with, it was the first product really that had scenes from the actual cartoons. Because if you look at any Scooby Doo product or any of the cartoon stuff that they do, it's stock art that they have for all that kind of thing. And the fact that they let us use art from the actual cartoons, they sent us videotapes, and we had a guy that we would tell him what frame we wanted to pull a picture from, and they would pull several from that, and then send it off and see it and try it for approval. And they were really easygoing. Warner Brothers was just awesome to work with. If you look at some of the cards, you'll see cards like Shaggy has no mouth or something like that, and that's from the cheap way they made the cartoons back in the day. Instead of, they were what they call 1.5 frames. So you would have a quick frame that might be missing stuff, but when it's playing on a video, you don't see that. But when you stop on a frame, you're going to have things missing. Someone's mouth, Scooby doesn't have his tail, or, something funky is going on in the background. And they let us use those. They let us use those pictures, so we were, not really making fun. It was all with love. And of course, I was a big Scooby Doo fan also, which is one of the reasons that, I got to work on it with Todd. And I think we came out with a really good product. And what initially was supposed to happen is that it was going to be sold at Walmart. They made this huge initial run, and it was supposed to be sold in the big box stores, and it would be out to every little kid at Christmas would be able to get their Scooby Doo cards, whether they actually played the game or not. Made just a really simplistic rule set, using X Files kind of as the basis, because instead of sites, you're going to the haunted amusement park, right? Or you're going to the mystery house instead of to Scully's dream, or right, or wherever it is, the sites that you go to. And the Scooby Gang is your investigators, right? So you got them, you got Scooby and Shaggy and Velma and everybody, as your investigators as the Mystery Gang, right? So it just ended up falling through. Whatever happened company wise, nothing that I was involved in, fortunately and unfortunately, whatever. The deal fell through with the big box stores, and they ended up with a ton of product and nowhere to put it. Tried to sell it to everybody, but when you have that much stuff around, and then we were already thinking expansions ahead of time. I was trying to get the new Scooby Doo Mysteries, which was the movies that they made afterwards that had the Globetrotters and Cass Elliot and all these other famous people back at that time, Don Knotts, right? The problem was that the contracts they made for people back then didn't allow for that, so we wouldn't be able to use anything that wasn't owned by Warner Brothers. So I kind of made it a little more difficult. So they were coming out with a new Scooby Doo movie, and it was a good way to advertise it. So they were coming out with the Alien Invaders, so we made an Alien Invaders set. Hindsight, probably should never have printed it because I doubt it sold much, if any, you know. But we got to do a lot of stuff with Warner Brothers. I mean, Scooby Doo was my big thing. My name's nowhere on it. Todd's name's nowhere on it. You know, the USPC wanted to keep all that stuff closed because they didn't want to have to worry about licensing later on with people, right? You know, that I might own something. Yeah. And so all the different game designs that I made for them back at that time, they still owned, and so that I couldn't ever use them in the future on my own or something, you know. So there were some board games. I made a game that, if you've heard of the Rockstar game Bully, it was kind of like that before that even came out. I made a board game out of that, well, there's a lot of Warner Brothers stuff. I mean, there's a lot of positive Warner Brothers stuff. USPC, on the other hand, I have nothing really good to say about those guys. They when they decided to close Journeyman Press down, and the Scooby Doo and everything, with the X Files, people were still around. They had a heads up, right? Whereas with Journeyman Press, one day they called Dave and I, saying we need to talk to someone in HR, and they had security escorts out of the building.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. And wouldn't let us go back to our desk to get our whatever stuff we may have there. I mean, I had some of my own private games and stuff like that I was bringing in, because we would play test stuff, and we would get ideas from different things, right? So yeah, they just sent me out the door, wouldn't allow me to talk to anybody, and said that they get the rest of my stuff and be at least 2 weeks before I come back, and I would have that security escort to go back to the office and all that. And they shut everything down. The people that they liked, they gave offers to, for other jobs. But Dave and I were out the door, and with no warning, nothing. You're just out of here. And so that's one of the reasons I, to this day. And then, yeah, okay. I won't talk about any of the legal stuff that happened later. There was other stuff dealing with lawyers. They sued me. So, more stuff to not like USPC. So it was just bad taste in my mouth all around with those guys. Unfortunately.
Well, how about we give you a good taste in your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're aware of this, but one of your X Files decks recently beat Kevin Marion when Mike.
Yes. Yeah. I heard about that. My You Hate Me deck is what I called it, because it was just made up of promos and ultra rares, as many as I can stick into a deck. And I would bring that out and play people. And I thought, well, if you guys are playing the game all the time, you should use this deck and see what happens. And it's awesome. You played Marion. Too bad you didn't video that though, right?
We didn't. It was sort of our first game, kind of learning how the cameras and everything worked with the new program and whatnot. So we didn't even have a premium subscription for StreamYard, so we couldn't even record it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
But there is another game actually 1 week from today. So I'll send you the link, definitely. I hope you can watch.
Oh, okay.
We'll be playing David May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna stream that live and just get our collective asses handed to us, probably.
Well, yeah, he's getting on my case about that, because ever since you guys played Kevin Marion and won in a game with my deck, he's like, you need to stop telling him that I always beat you. You know, it was just, you know,
So
did. And these guys, the game a heck of a lot better than I do now, because I hadn't played. And those 25 years that you've been playing, I haven't played. That's one of the reasons I wanted you guys to have that deck, because I would play somebody and I would probably get my ass handed to me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. I'd be asking questions every card. What can I do with this? How do I get conspiracy points again? You know, I've been watching your guys' videos and I'm just like, man, there's a lot more to this game than I thought there was.
Yeah, we're really digging into the rules, being able to run the tournament and moderate with Kevin, and I think it's better players. That said, though, Brian, for our game with David May and for the tournament player that gets to play David May, do you have any tips on how to beat
anything? We're all ears. How do we beat this guy?
Like any psychological tricks or anything?
Is he afraid of like butterflies or something? Or
psychological stuff? No, he knows all the tricks in that. Oh man, how do you beat Dave? You know the rules better than him. You just have to, and you have to be fast. You have to be able to not let him think, because he's one of those guys like a chess player, right? He's 10 moves ahead of you. You want to make it so that he has to constantly react instead of making you react. Right.
All right.
You're gonna have to go into some Miyagi training. So
yeah.
Get on your wax off for the game.
Yeah, and get the options and go after the lie.
I
told him all stuff. It's stuff he doesn't. Stuff he doesn't talk about. Like I know, from all over half my life now, and he is the tricks on everything. I mean, just card games. He was really good at Magic, right? Back in there, I think he had mentioned that. But I mean, he make up a hobby and get close to high level. Not mastering, get into almost pro level on some stuff. I mean, he played darts. He bowled. He did axe throwing, the hatchet throwing, all that kind of. I mean, and he would excel at all that stuff. Damn it!
Well,
everything. He would just pick it up. Oh yeah, well, it's like those guys that that can pick up any instrument, right, and play it, or that kind of thing. He was that kind of a person with gaming stuff. He just knew. He knows mechanics behind stuff. That's why I always said with any games that we worked on together, he knew the mechanics inside and out on stuff. Whereas I was always the story guy. I was reading the flavor text on the card while he's making sure all my lands are can't do anything. I can't get any mana that turn or whatever. All my conspiracy points are used up because Dave has has something up his sleeve. So hopefully with the amount of time that you guys have been playing, I'm hoping that you'll be able to kick some Dave booty.
We're hoping.
We'll see. Now, what you should do, you should have him play some Scooby Doo and see, how well he does with that.
Maybe we'll mix in some Scooby Doo cards.
Yeah, Scooby Doo cards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a similar game, so you know, you just put some of those in.
That'll throw them off.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Scooby Doo Bluff, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Have a Scooby Doo bluff in there. You know. Have your favorite, the Scooby snacks right on the side. Use that for your conspiracy points. And did they have that in the decks? Then they had the little punch out cards right in the decks of the Scooby snacks. Did they have?
No, we didn't. We didn't get any of those in the. We have one of the expandable card game, one of the starters up there that you gave us.
Yeah.
But we haven't cracked into that one. Maybe it might be about.
Oh, okay, that's where those would be. Yeah, we had little cardboard punch outs of Scooby snacks, and that's what you use for your tokens in the game. So, bring out Scooby snacks, man. It'll give you some good luck.
Oh
Man, I
man,
like that.
I like
That's a good idea.
Some Scooby snacks.
Plus that's something that I know you guys know a lot about. In Oregon.
That's true. Yeah.
No comment. The federal government still says Scooby snacks are illegal, so I can't.
Right.
Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got a bunch of banded cards.
Oh.
Yeah, no punch out.
It's made for two people to play, I think, out of one deck.
Oh,
that's cool.
That is cool. Well, there you go. Yeah, two there. And then the that thing there.
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh, yeah, pop-up. Yep. And pop-up cards.
You got a Shaggy. Nice.
Oh, there they are. Look at that. You're right. Look at that. The little Scooby Snack punch outs.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
now we gotta open them.
Yeah, it's so weird. You watch Scooby Doo nowadays, and you never notice how every time they rolled up in their van and the door would open and they ran out, smoke would always follow them. And as a kid, you were like, "Oh wow, they're just moving so fast. They're kicking up the dust in the van." No,
Not what it was.
They did that in the when they did the first live action movie, right? And then they show him inside, and he's actually cooking on a grill, which is why all the smoke's coming out of there.
yeah, right.
They did that in the live action movie. I remember. Yeah, that cracked me up. Yeah, those guys. That was just such a fun property to work on. Man, I tell you what, and we got to work with the guys at DC Comics. They made a rule book for us. Having an actual comic book artist drawing a mini comic book that we could hand out to people. I think maybe it may have come into one of the booster boxes.
Yeah, we actually got some of those. It had like 4 or 5 in it.
Yeah, there was at least a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd have a few just to hand out. When something to make it simple for the kids to learn how to play. But they had, like I said, they had they had comic book artists and writers from DC working on that instead of doing stock art once again. They actually had real stuff going on, and that was super cool. That was another money sink that USPC blamed on us because they put my name in all the boxes of those that got sent to the company. So there's cases and cases, pallets stacked up, boxes of these comic books, and every one of them says, to Brian Woodward, USPC.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. No, I told you other stuff that you DC and Warner Brothers did. They flew me out to read the original script for the first Harry Potter before the movie came out. They had a whole thing of stills for me to look at and stuff like that, as we were supposed to make a game out of that. And let me read the script, sitting there with, and they had to approve the notes that came out of there and make sure I didn't copy the whole script or whatever, right? And then go into the different conventions for them, the comic book conventions. DC gave me a badge for San Diego Con one year, let me walk around acting like I was somebody with that. We actually did interviews and stuff. I don't think any of that stuff exists anymore, but we actually did video interview on the stage with, I don't know who it was, somebody out of Florida company. They did a whole interview about Scooby Doo and about our work with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. I don't know whatever happened to any of that. You know, we were treated, you know, so well at that convention, you know, by everybody, because they were all happy to, you know, see new property, you know, see something new with Scooby Doo that, you know, they hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it's unique. I mean, overall, the game's very unique.
Yeah. So, I didn't even realize. I thought the only refractors were the characters. I didn't realize that we did them for some of the other cards. She's had one for the, you said another malt shop. I was like, oh, it had been so long. Dave's the only one I know that has a complete set.
Oh, wow, he actually has a full set.
I don't even have a complete set of the cards.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is what it is, you know. But I completely lost track. Yeah, I go off on these tangents, so just stop me whenever. I didn't have this out.
Cool. I didn't know about the Scooby Snacks. Like I said, we just had the one, so I didn't even open it. But
yeah,
that's awesome, man. Hey, thanks for taking some time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome.
And then I don't honestly know how to thank you enough for sharing these with us so that we can share them with everybody else. It truly, there's no words.
No,
I can't. Yeah. So again, you know, thank you.
Mike Mackey is sharing like the sheets and stuff and things like that. And those are awesome. You know, I used to have that stuff, and I just, you know, after moving around for 5 years, right, you know, things get lost or misplaced or left somewhere or whatever. So no, you keep, like I say all the time, you keep the flame alive. You got people watching. I want people to be able to see this stuff, like the GenCon cards and the pewter and everything. I want people to see what it'll look like, you know. So the best place is to have it whenever you do your shows. It's there in the background. People are going to see it, and, you know, post it wherever, you know, people want to take a closer look at it. They can see what it looks like front and back.
Yep.
Awesome. I just love it that you guys are such, you know, big fans of the game and know so much about it, and have been doing this and been able to get those interviews. You know, I mean, I was, when you got the last one,
David Lewis.
David Lewis.
Yeah,
that was awesome. You know, I mean, it wasn't one of those parts where you're like, oh, it took me a minute, you know, because like you said, he was really young when he did that, you know, and he looked in the card, and of course, like all the Vancouver guys, right? He was in 3 or 4 episodes, you know, and you get the different actors that, you know, maybe there's one that you remembered most for, like, you know, the Agent Patterson, right? You know, something like that. You know, you have people that playing the cop with the ding dang whatever, you know, when he's
Larry Musser. Yeah, that was
Musser. Yeah, that was awesome. You know, so I'm hoping that's one of the reasons people say, hey, this is a place we had to look. I mean, as soon as I heard about you guys, I advertised you on Reddit. I went to the X Files, you know, Reddit and everything, and said, oh, you guys need to see this, especially with, you know, with Dean Haglund and everything. And yeah, whenever, I mean, I tell everybody I know, I said, yeah, you guys need to look at this. You need to see what's going on. These guys are just, and you just have fun with it. You know, you're not taking yourself overly serious with everything.
No.
Yeah.
I
So
I made it rain a couple weeks ago. That was stupid.
yeah, no, I saw that video and I was just like, oh my God.
Probably the
Okay,
first time that's ever been done.
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last.
You know,
And the last, right? Yeah, definitely the
yeah.
last.
I think we did that something similar with Scooby Doo cards back in one of the conventions. We did. I don't think about when we were doing X Files stuff. We did. It's just I don't know why I remember this. We did trivia. X Files trivia to win different things at the conventions. And people would say, just please don't do the thing like, what's the license number on, Scully's, ID or whatever, because there's people that knew that, but, do something a little bit different, why is Queequeg the best card in the game? Things like that.
Because it is.
It's not.
It is.
No.
That was my,
Of all the
my
cards.
answer, but I had to answer that question on Facebook, so you got my answer on that.
Yeah.
High five for Queequeg.
Only for our viewers.
You gotta mean it. Mean it.
I'll never mean it.
Mean it.
No.
No. I don't want your half-ass handshake.
Yeah. It means nothing.
Well, Brian, thanks again for taking the time to talk to us. We'll let you go. Again, thanks again for everything.
Make sure to get this down to 15 minutes because with me just talking and blathering on, I think it's going to tears.
People want to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely.
I've noticed people watch a lot of these interviews all the way through and comment on things that happen right at the end. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
And they better watch the end of this one because I'm going to tell you right now what's coming right at the end of this interview.
you're
okay.
Queequeg's worthless.
No.
Oh.
There's going to be a montage.
Oh, a montage. Yeah,
Gonna need a montage.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I won't get to see that until actually you post it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
but it's
I'm just
exciting.
curious.
Yeah. All right, Brian. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
We'll see you
Yeah.
then.
Stay tuned next time for Mike and Matt's
X Files CCG.
No alien experimentation.
Just give up. You will never defeat me. Are you even trying, Mike? Do you even want to win?
Why? Running doesn't have anything to do with this.
More. I think you're ready. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
And then the title.
Felt cute, my pewter later.